It is your Classic Metal Show right here on the ClassicMetalShow.com. That little lullaby was a tune called Your Worst Enemy. And on the phone right now, we've got my worst enemy and yours. It's the Hatriot himself, Steve Zetro Sousa. Zet, how are you, man?
Chris, what's up, brother? How you doing?
Excellent, man.
What's up with all the Midwest metalheads? How are they doing?
Well, they're enjoying this record, man. Talk about an ass kicker, man. Jesus Christ.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, we feel that between this and Heroes of Origin that we've thoroughly kicked ass for the first two records, definitely, and this one especially.
Sure. Now, Zetro, you were telling me right before we came on the air, and I figured this is probably a good place to start, is that your crew never stops writing, which to me is probably why Dawns of a New Centurion sounds like the sequel to the last record.
Right. Yeah, I don't think that we stray away from the formula too much, and like I was saying earlier, the kids don't know how to be lazy rock stars yet. So I have them, I guess, befuddled that you just keep writing music and we'll just keep putting out songs. So even as people are listening to Dawn of the New Centurion, which is our new record, and we haven't even toured on it yet, which starts in July, we are already writing the next Hatriot record as we speak.
Nice.
So we are not wasting any time. I remember being a kid, again, I just turned 50, so I remember being a kid in the 70s, and it seemed like my heroes all put out a record every year and a half. You saw them on tour, there'd be one out in 77, and then by 78 or 78 and a half, they'd have one out, and then by 79 or 80, they came out. They constantly put out records. I mean, look at Sabbath. They put two out in 1 year, in their first two records. Zeppelin, it was like every year. Back then, that's when they did it, and I feel that bands take so long now to put out a record. It's like they're taboo to write songs on the road. I don't know. And in the shortest period, it seems it's like as you're getting maybe 3 years in between albums. And to me, that's just, that's a band not working. How hard is it to write 10 songs or 9 songs, really?
Sure. Now, you obviously know how fickle this business is, especially now, versus not that it ever wasn't, but it's certainly way, way more now.
Sure. Definitely.
Were you happy, business-wise with the attention that Heroes of Origin got for the band, raising the band from a band nobody knew into a band that, is past just being Zetro's new project?
See, I have to fight that, understand? And I'm not worried about that end of it because I feel the music is so good, and I know it is because I'm a metal fan, and I've been doing this for 30 years. So it's not like I'm going to sit here and say to you, oh, yeah, man, I write these great and heavy, and I love metal, and then when I go back, I've got Journey in my tape deck or, even lighter hard rock. I don't listen to that stuff. I do not listen to it.
Right.
I listen to metal, and I love metal. It may be Priest or Iron Maiden. I may even put Poison song, but it's going to have metal to it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And most of the time, it's what's going on right now and whatever grooves me. Shit, I had King Diamond and Merciful Fate stuck in my deck for like 3 months. It's just the way I roll, and and I feel that I'm such a fan that I'm in tune with that. So I know that the songs are good, and I know that both of the albums are really good. So even if I'm not breaking the crowds that I could probably be breaking, I'm not really concerned by that. You know what I mean? I know that it'll come around. And look, even between Heroes and now, I'm getting so much more attention. We're getting offered tours now, and people are starting to take a look. 2 weeks ago on that metal show, Don Jameson picked Dawn of the New Centurion as his album pick of the week. So people are starting to turn their heads.
Sure.
So I knew it would happen. And I did think that maybe Heroes would be a little bit more, we would get a little bit more attention off of, but I wasn't frustrated by it. I know how this, like you said, fickle is the word. You couldn't have used a better word. And so I just roll with it. I like playing music and putting out music, and it's not about being the king of the hill. It would be great to be up there and be the king of the hill, but as long as I'm on the hill, I'm cool.
Right. Nice. And I got to tell you, dude, just from a strictly fan standpoint, it has been nice to see somebody that's had success in another band not only waving the flag of their other band, in fact, trying to avoid that, and establish your band on its own merits, man, because you're well aware of this, too. No one does that.
You know, and again, I do play some of the song, both of the bands live. You know, I do play a Legacy song and an Exodus song, but I always felt that when you went and saw Ozzy, you wanted to hear him do a Black Sabbath. If you went and saw Halford, you wanted to hear him do a Priest, and any other singer that deferred off. But I don't think that I strayed away from the formula at all. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And Hatriot is Hatriot. I could have called it Zetro and been so egotistical about it. And, you know, I've been in the business. This is my band. These guys are just kids. And it's not about me. Costa Varvatakis, Costa V, he writes all the music.
Right.
You know, all of the music. I write the lyrics. I name the songs. All of the concepts and all that titles, all that shit comes from me. But Costa is, every riff you hear, even the drum beats, he's so talented. He's like Gary Holt. He's like Eric Peterson and Alex. And he's like the guitar players that I've played with, the Phil Demmels, the guys that are talented and get it. And he's just young. And I see him as the new wave. You know, he's 25 years old. Sure. I'm 50. I double him. And what's he going to be like when he's 50? He's a monster now.
Sure.
You know, and it's just, I want the band to sell on its own merit. So I am not trying to I mean, I can't escape from being from Exodus. That's who I am. Right. I'm not going to escape that. I'm very proud of that. And I love that band. And I love the times I were, and I love those songs, and I love all the fans from it. But, you know, they have a singer, and I still got 30 more years of metal to spew out on all you guys. So I had to do it somewhere.
Sure, man.
That's why I really like, I mean, Hatriot is a derivative of what Legacy and Exodus is or was, and Creator and Slayer and Megadeth and Metallica and all those bands bundled into one. And that's what Hatriot is to me.
Sure.
Plus, it's newer bands. We put blast beats in there. There's chanting back in vocals. You know, that's all the kids' idea. You know, they know what's going on today. They listen to Black Dahlia Murder. They listen to the Faceless. You know, Job for a Cowboy. They know what's going on with those bands. You know, and so we kind of add it in and kind of mix it. It's kind of old school, new school with these youngsters doing it. So I think it's kind of worked out quite well.
Sure. Now, you mentioned Costa, and I wanted to bring him up, too, just for the fact, when I talked to you on the first record, you talked about, you really sang the praises on how much he writes, just like you're doing now, or how much he writes, how into it he is, etc. Yeah. Listening to Dawn of a New Centurion, you really hear a lot of growth. Songs like The Fear Within as a prime example. Oh, yeah. Just a vicious guitar. The guitar work is vicious, but the intro to it is something completely different that didn't appear anywhere else. And there's several songs like that.
Exactly. I want 9 different songs. I mean, World Funeral. The whole song is a backup vocal. It's almost a death metal song. If you listen to it, it sounds like a Tenet song, not a Hatriot song. You know, it's very of that vein. So I mean, I heard this song. Next song. I heard this song. Next song. I think that we capture that, like, wow, every song there's hills and valleys on the record, very much so. The title track, to me, is just a masterpiece. It's epic, the way that kid came up with that. And then I think the lyrics that I wrote really works with it. It's kind of slow, and then it gets into it. And by the middle of it, man, we're kicked up, straight up thrash. There's blistering leads. But then at the end of it, we bring you back down again, and we drag you through the mud one more time.
Right.
You know, and I just think that the dynamics in that you can't teach, and that the kid is so, oh God, he's just so in tune with dynamics like that. He's just, they're calling him the riff master now, and it's just amazing because he is. His riffs are just so damn catchy to me, and I'm a fan, and I love every song that he writes. It's like, wow, I love that I found this kid, and he's writing for me, and I get to write lyrics to stuff like this and sing over it. And my son Nicholas and my son Cody are both, you know, in tune. It's like we roll like this machine in 5th gear. Right. You know, we're like these horsemen that just, and we won't stop. We just keep going.
Sure.
So that's by 2015. I'm not going to tell you it, but we already have the title for the next record. We're working on the artwork, and we'll probably be in the studio January 15th, February. I'm sorry, is what I'm shooting for. And usually when I shoot for something, I nail it. Just
nice.
Like I said, well, I told you after Heroes, we're writing a new record, and I plan on having a new album out in 12 months.
Yep.
I'm sure everybody go, oh, yeah, sure, that sounds great. Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, well, I had a new album out in 12 months.
There you go.
And a good one, too.
Sure. Now, how is Massacre about that? Are they cool with you releasing stuff that quick? Or do...
Why wouldn't they be? It's money in their pockets. Think about it. They're a record label. They're in business to sell records, right?
Yeah, true.
I would think, 1 year, once a year. I mean, if you're pumping out 3 a year, I can see that they're saying hold off. But 1 a year? What if all your bands put out 1 a year? Don't you think the fans want that? All I've been doing on our Facebook and on the reviews and the things that I've read, the fans are praising me for it. You know what I mean? They're like, dude, attaboy Zed, not for sitting on your ass. This one kicks ass too. Wow, 12 months apart. Good going. Keep up the good work. So we are. I love it.
Excellent.
It's all about the fans.
Sure.
If the fans want better music, you want to hear Heroes for 3 years? Or do you want to hear 3 Hatriot records in 3 years? You do the math. It's like I'm pretty tight with a couple of the guys in Slipknot. I was especially tight with Joey. And, I mean, I love their music, and they're one of the newer bands that came in after that I actually liked a lot. And those guys haven't done a new record. I know they're talking about doing it this year, but 2008.
Right.
All Hope Is Gone came out. 2008.
Right.
We're halfway through 14 right now.
Yep.
So to me, you owe it to your fans. You're not doing it for yourself or what your music is. I love to play music, and so I'm going to play the same old songs? No. What are we going to do in the studio? Play the same set because we're not on that album cycle? No. Just keep writing new songs, and I'll just keep writing new lyrics.
Sure.
So then we'll just keep moving forward, and we'll beat the tree that way.
Definitely.
And so, I love that, and these kids want to work, and they know because they've seen what happened between Heroes and Dawn. They went out and we did some stuff in Europe, and it got some attention, and they played really good live, and now they're asking us back, and now we've got 2 tours in Europe booked up, one in the States, one in South America, really good stuff going on in the States, flyouts that we're doing. And so we're actually supposed to do some dates in Chicago with Generation Kill, which I'm really excited about.
Oh, that's cool.
Which is Rob Dukes' band.
Sure.
From Exodus. He's singer for Exodus now, so really excited about that. It's going to be a blast.
Excellent.
So we got a lot of things are coming this way, definitely.
Definitely cool. Now let me ask you this, Zed. This really doesn't have to do with you as much as more the scene in general. Obviously, not that long ago, one of the key guys, Jeff Hanneman passed away. Obviously a huge loss for the thrash scene.
Right.
Now he's another in a line of musicians, from our past that are slowly, passing away, dying, getting out of the business, etc. Do you think that fans will ever react to the new class of bands that are coming up, your Havocs, your Hatriots, your, Lazarus AD, Municipal Waste, etc.?
And you're nailing them. God, you're nailing them all, too.
Dude.
I think like you do, but I'm going to give you an answer for that.
Go ahead.
All of the bands that, and again, I played in 2 of them, Legacy and Exodus, they were the initial bands to do it.
Sure.
So anytime you innovate a sound, you may not make all the money off it, Ramones, Sex Pistols, but you may be remembered for it, Green Day. You understand? Same thing. Same thing. When punk was hot, it was the Blondie. Then they were punk and Talking Heads and the Ramones and Sex Pistols and Dead Kennedys. And those guys were the innovators. You'll always remember the innovators. But then there was a bunch of bands that came later. You're just, like your late 90s bands, and just got huge off of it, and probably made more money than the Ramones ever even thought of making out of it, So to me, Slayer was an innovator. They innovated thrash. Metallica innovated thrash. Exodus innovated thrash. Testament, Overkill. You can go on and on about the initial bands that innovated it. And that's why I think that those bands will always be kind of, that's why this band, because they started this out. It's kind of like Maiden and Priest for that new wave of British heavy metal. They'll always be looked at as that way. But in my eyes, I think heavy metal fans in general are very knowledgeable, and they don't throw away their music. So as they love that thrash, if you loved what I did in the 80s with Exodus, you're really going to love what I'm doing with Hatriot. And that goes for Lazarus AD, and that goes for Havoc, and that goes for Municipal Waste, and any of the newer bands that are doing it, that are starting out 3 Inches of Blood, Bonded by Blood, Warbringer, any of the newer bands that are doing that type of thrash. you know. And so I think that there will be, you know, there will always be that, you know. And I again, heavy metal fans are very well known. Look at you, look at me, look how long we've been doing this. You know what I mean? And we're not ready to throw it away. It's what I listen to. It's my life. It's my freaking religion, you know, basically. I have no religion. This is my religion. Heavy metal is my religion, you know, and I won't throw it away for anyone. And when we go around the world and we see the fans everywhere, and we're in the United States, and we come to Cleveland, we come to Ohio, we go to Florida, New York, man, our fans are rabid. Our fans love this stuff. Our fans love what we give them, and they've always been there, and they always will be, and that's a great thing about metal fans. You can go through all kinds of genres of music, and everybody's got an up and down career history. Ours is never up or down. It just stays the same all the way through. You know, like you don't really gain a lot of fans necessarily, but we don't lose any fans ever. They have to die first. Right,
definitely. Now, you talked about going around the world, man. What's the plans for this year? You said something about you're going to start touring in July?
Yeah, July 4th of July, we start in Tilburg, Holland with Artillery and Onslaught.
Wow.
And that's 22 shows across Europe, I think 9 countries. And that goes up until August. And then I think we're going out with, we're going to do a couple of California things with DRI.
Okay.
And then we're going to go do that thing with Rob's band, Generation Kill. I believe it's a flyout where we just kind of go to Chicago for a weekend and play 2 shows.
Okay.
And then September, I heard South America, 7 shows with Raven, and then Gamma Bomb in the States in October. So keep your fingers crossed that will come through your way.
Excellent.
And then back to Europe with Municipal Waste in December to do some festivals and some Christmas stuff right before Christmas. I think we come home like on the 23rd or something like that. So it was the Dawn of the New Centurion came out everywhere but the States on February 21st, and then came out in the States April 1st. So we really haven't played too many shows to support it. We've done a couple of warm-ups to get it, but we're really going to take off this summer. So a lot going on right now. Plus, the writing of the next record, definitely.
Awesome. Well, as you said, the name of the new record is Dawn of a New Centurion. It is brand new Hatriot. And Zet, before I let you go, what am I missing that you want people to know?
No, just keep your ears wired. Hatriotsmetal.com is our website. That's where you can go and hit us on Facebook and Twitter. We actually monitor it ourselves. So if you want to get to one of us, you got something to say, whatever, you can go on there. We read everything. My boys are meticulous about that. Cody and Nick and my daughter, Madison, are the moderators on our website. So they look at everything and see everything. And I believe we just signed a merchandise deal with a company called Tin Man. So you can go to the website, and we finally have merchandise. You can finally buy Hatriot swag.
Nice.
So I think there's T-shirts there now, but they're starting to get beanies and hats and more kind of other crap going on as well. So, and look out for us because we're coming, and we're going nowhere. Chris, I got 30 years left. I figured till I'm 80, I can bang my head, right? So
right.
Still got 30 years of me putting out music. I can guarantee that.
Very cool, man. Well, Zetro, why don't you pick a tune off the new record to wrap this up with and maybe tell us a quick story about it?
I got to give you this one. It's called Superkillerfrag. Sadistic acts are so atrocious. And basically the way I took that and I wrote that song about, obviously I took it from the Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. This is such a nice, pretty song. But I don't think Julie Andrews would love my song at all. I can guarantee you that. And this one's about world leaders like Gaddafi and Hitler and Misilovich and now maybe even Putin, if he keeps it up, trying to run their country in fear and tyranny. And eventually they end up dying quite violently. Saddam Hussein, same way. They try to run their country in fear, and they get it.
Nice.
That's what this song is about. Superkillerfrag. Sadistic acts are so atrocious.
Well, let's check it out right now. It's brand new Hatriot right here on your Classic Metal Show.